Hello, welcome. It's time for my Wednesday town hall, and it's a day before Thanksgiving, so some of you may have already had some Thanksgiving festivities, and some of you are just getting started. But anyways, welcome. Let me fix myself a little bit here. Teach you my secrets. Gotta put a little bit of hair out so you don't look bald. Unless you want to look bald, of course. Then don't do that. But anyways, welcome. I'm now fully here. So I am Susan Maud Buchser-Lochocki, or Susan Buchser for short. And I am a candidate for President of the United States in the 2024 election. Folks, we got some big problems with our election results. But before we get there, I just want to say that this is a town hall and campaign update, of course. So welcome. Thank you, and happy Thanksgiving to some of you who are already celebrating. I'm going to probably put out a special message tomorrow. I don't know if it'll be a video or if it'll just be something in writing. I'll be inspired and then put something out there. But I just wanted to also mention it here. So I wish you lots of joy and happiness with family and friends and loved ones. Enjoy. It was a good harvest, I guess. I mean, the election was pretty strange. So it's time to move on to that. I can't believe it's still the same month and so much has happened. We're only in November, folks, and we got lots of crazy things going on. So, first, I guess, let me tell you, I can't tell you how disappointed I am that as a non-criminal U.S. citizen, my vote did not get counted. And it's just unacceptable. I don't know how this could even happen. But the more I think about it, the angrier I get. Because I also know that in some states, accidentally, and even possibly on purpose, foreign people who aren't citizens voted. And their votes got counted. Because they were registered to vote. So I had all my documentation. They had no reason to not count my vote. But I don't even think it made it anywhere. Because, they gave me a number to put in somewhere online. And I went to their website and there's no place to put the number in. So I was supposed to be able to track it and see where it was in its processing. But it never got that far. So I think they just threw it out, which is unacceptable, unconstitutional. They are violating my rights in West Virginia. So anyway, folks, this is where we are. And it was clearly the Democrats and the Republicans because there was a Democrat who was helping me with the machines. And then a Republican came over and said, I have to be here because I'm a Republican. And then I asked, where's the Libertarian and where's the Green Party and where's the write-in candidates and where's the Independent? And nobody had an answer for that. So there were just Democrats and Republicans there. So that's who's controlling our elections. And if you were not running and you did not help at the election area, I'm sorry for you. Because we got big problems. So we got a president who has successfully postponed his sentencing for 34 felonies. 34 hush money felonies. He's managed to hush the current judge and get this postponed again. He was sentenced back in May. He was supposed to originally in July be sentenced, but when the Republican Party moved their convention up, they made some sort of story and they moved it back. So it's clear that the judge on the case must be a Republican. And yeah, they must have some good information about him to get him to postpone all this. It's pretty crazy. And then, so it's been, those 34 felonies have now been postponed indefinitely. Indefinitely. So we, in theory, could have a criminal running our country on January 20th. A criminal who should have been sentenced and hushed up the lawyers and the judges for months, right in front of our faces. And now he's got his finger on a nuclear weapon again. So, it's pretty scary what we've got going on, folks. I don't accept it. I have that lawsuit pending with the Supreme Court. I'm hoping they're going to come forward with it and declare that the election was fraudulent. I mean, if they are throwing out U.S. citizen votes, they're not counting them on purpose. And then we have a president who's a felon, who is going to be having his finger for 4 years on that nuclear bomb? Are you kidding me? This is not normal. This is not acceptable. We need to follow the law, but we need laws that are just and having common sense. So a common sense law is not that foreign people get to vote because they're registered, but U.S. citizens don't get to vote because they're not registered. That doesn't make sense. If a U.S. citizen can prove they are a citizen and can prove where they live, their vote needs to be counted. And for people who are not U.S. citizens, if they cannot produce a passport that has a U.S. passport, then they do not get to vote. No. Period. I don't care if they're on the register to vote list, because we know in West Virginia, just 2 years ago, our own Secretary of State, the guy in charge of the elections in West Virginia, he said there were 380,000 fraudulent names on the registering to vote list. That is a quarter of the West Virginia vote. And you know what that means? A quarter of the vote was wrong in West Virginia in 2020, in 2022, and now in 2024. And I don't know if he changed it, but why would anyone who discovered so much fraud in such a small state, why would he continue to be using this fraudulent system? We have over 24 states that reported problems. Texas had over 1 million wrong names. So, folks, the Democrats and Republicans, they don't want a legitimate vote. They don't want reality. They don't want your opinion. And we have been silenced once again. Shame on all the Democrats and all the Republicans who did this to us. And shame on all the people who are in office or taking office and being picked for office, who are being picked by bad people who stole the election and who are being placed into positions of power, and then hiring people who will probably equally do bad things like that and steal our voices for the next 4 years. Luckily, some of these people are only in there for 1 year or 2 years, but some are in there for 4, and some are even in there for 6. This is unacceptable. This is not my USA. I was not raised a patriotic U.S. citizen to have this garbage, this shame, this embarrassment thrown down my throat. Forget it. There is a solution. First, the Supreme Court needs to make a ruling on my lawsuit. That would be the quickest and easiest thing to do because it's still with them. But soon I'm going to have time to write a new one. I am not stopping here. This is unacceptable. This is not my USA. We can do a heck of a lot better than what we've got and what we're doing. And shame on the Democrats and the Republicans for bringing this to us, for doing this to us, for taking our voice away. Shame on you. Because my ballot was not counted, I didn't vote for anybody, anywhere. None of my votes were counted. So you're all illegally in office at this point, especially the ones in my region. Unacceptable. Shame on you. Good men and women did not lose their lives defending our country so that their children and their children's children and their loved ones' voices could be stolen. We have a hostile takeover, folks. The Democrats and Republicans, they don't want us to have a voice, and they're succeeding. So I'm no better than you. If I can write a lawsuit, you can write a lawsuit. But if you're afraid to do that, then what you can also do is, if you know of fraudulent activity, send it to the FBI. Go to their tips page. Figure out if you're going to do the one for election fraud, or if you're going to do the one for corruption, because it's sort of, they have it separated in different ways. Go wherever you feel comfortable. Report it more than once. Tell them you've already reported it. This is part 2 or part 3 or part 4, because sometimes the story is too long and you can't do it in one of their little computerized, organized databases. Sometimes you got to do part 4 and 5. I think I did one that was part 7. So, just keep giving them information. And even if something new comes to you tomorrow, whatever you put in today, just go in tomorrow, put it in, say, hey, I wrote you yesterday, blah, blah, blah. This is what it was about. And that way people can get all the information that need it. Because, yeah, we have been taken over by the Democrats and Republicans, and they're not giving our country back to us. Shame on them. So yeah, that's where I am. I never heard of somebody who is supposed to be sentenced who, because they're rich, can pay the judges off, pay everybody off, and then they can reschedule or eventually cancel, because by the time he gets around to his sentencing, he'll either be dead or he'll be it'll be so far past the actual activity that he'll be ignored. It'll be ignored and it won't happen. Or the other thing is, I guess, if he gets into office, he can pardon himself. And then that's done, then there's no case against him. So, we got problems, folks. We got so much corruption. And it's just not acceptable. So I know you're feeling helpless like me, but you can do something. Go to the FBI website, go to the CIA website. You know, there might be other places too. There's Homeland Security, there's Secret Service. I don't know. I haven't really looked at all of them because I'm sort of sticking with the FBI and the CIA. So FBI is local, within the United States, within a state, and CIA is more international, but they do cross over sometimes, and maybe report it to both. That can also be useful. So yeah, this is not a really good Thanksgiving. It's given me a stomach ache, and I am thankful for many things, but I'm not thankful for the corruption. I've had enough. And I know a lot of other people have had enough too. So, yeah, we got to do something. And it's time to stop being helpless and start doing. It's not that hard. What you should know is that there are mock lawsuits out there, pretend ones, that will help you put your lawsuit together. You just got to do a little research, and then you can put a lawsuit together. Just always make sure that you're on the constitutional side, because the Constitution does matter. It is our founding ruling document. It's the supreme law of the land. It's supreme to all other laws. So in the United States. So yes, read your Constitution, especially all the amendments and the Bill of Rights, because that's where there's a lot of good information there about what you are and are not allowed to do. So I am in Switzerland right now in my art studio, and I'm getting things done. It's the afternoon here, but I slept really poorly last night, so I didn't get a lot of sleep. But I'm still going forward, and maybe I'll take a nap or something. I don't know. But all is good here. You could hardly tell there's a war going on, even though we're fairly close. We don't border Poland, but we border Germany and Austria. And they border Poland, and they border Poland. So, the war is not that supposedly far from us, but you would never know it. So I don't know really what's going on in the Ukraine and what's going on with Russia. It's a little scary what's going on, though, when you listen to what the propaganda is saying, with with Putin. But the issue began supposedly because we were getting too close to the border of Russia in the Ukraine with help. And apparently the treaty that we all agreed to was to keep space between Europe and Russia. So NATO wasn't supposed to go too close, but they were crossing the line. And whoever told them to do that, I don't know, but there was line crossing. So, excuse me, it is important. Peace is important for the next generations. We don't want war. And if we can imagine living in war and having wars so often, we can imagine living in peace and living in love in the same way. So during my lifetime, we've given war many, many chances. War has been always in my life. via the United States. So I think it's time to try peace. Time to try harmony and friendship. These are all good and noble causes, good ways to be in touch with people. And yeah, it's what the world needs now, is peace, love, and happiness. So as we go into the Thanksgiving and Christmas time, or I call it winter time, peace, love, and happiness is also often talked about. So it's in line with many religions. So see, we don't have to continue on this doomsday mission of going into World War III. So I call for a ceasefire by all armies everywhere on the planet. And especially in the U.S., I call for a ceasefire of everyone with whatever kind of handgun they have. Put it down. Let's have a week or at least a couple of days without a murder, without gunfire, without pollution from these things. Let's just be nice to each other. It's not that hard to be nice. I mean, I like being nice to the nice, so I am nice to the nice. But really, it's up to us. I know the powers that be think that they can convince us otherwise, but we are more than them. And so, we can do it. We don't have to take this. So, yeah, if you're watching me on YouTube, like and subscribe my YouTube channel. And if you're watching me anywhere else, you can like and subscribe whatever you can to wherever you're seeing me from. This has been really disappointing, what's going on with the election. Not just because I'm not the presidential person possibly going to be the president, but the amount of fraud in the system. And if you've been watching me, you know what's going on. So, yeah, I'm sorry. This is not my USA. I'm bringing good change, peaceful, loving, harmony change. And if that sounds good to you, then let's see if we can stop this process and move forward in a different way. It's our only chance at this point. So, anyway, I think that's enough for now. I wish you all a very happy Thanksgiving with your family and friends and loved ones. They are what makes the world go round. Make world livable. Absolutely. All right. As you can see, I'm falling asleep. So I'm going to head out and get a little nap in before I go and do some other things. Thank you for stopping by. I wish you a very nice day and more tomorrow. But let's begin with peace and put down the weapons now. On every street corner, in every city, in every rural area, in the forest, just put them down. And let's sit down to the table and discuss it like human beings, like adults. All right. So, if you want to find out more about my lawsuit, you can go to my website or you can watch some other videos that I've made. My website is susan4usa.com. That's Susan, the number 4, USA.com. And that's about it. So, thank you.